Good morning. Today in Foundations 30, we are going to talk section 3.2, discussing the relationship between sets. We're going to look at a Venn diagram and a situation to help us get a scenario sorted out so that we can answer a couple of questions. This situation is about an Alberta school, 65 grade 12 students. There are 23 of these grade 12 students who play volleyball, 26 play basketball, 31 students who do not play either sport. And this Venn diagram is set up in such a way that we are going to organize how many play volleyball, basketball, or neither. So how do I get the information in the Venn diagram? There really is there are 1, 2, 3 different parts of the sets that you can see here, but there's also the number outside of those sets. And these are all numbers that we're going to get sorted out, knowing that we have in total in our universal set 65 students in all. Well, if you go to the details of what they tell us that there are 23 students who play volleyball. There are 26 students who play basketball, and there are 31 students who play neither. Now, right away, I'm a little bit concerned about this because when you take a look at totaling these up, we have 80 students that they're referring to, but that's too many. 80 is too many by how much? We're only supposed to have 65 students. And that 15 that are counted over and above, somewhere too many, is a very important number. When you take a look at this number of too many, this 15, this is the number that we have in terms of our Venn diagram in this overlap section. We have students that have been counted twice. Those students who play volleyball and play basketball have been counted twice. And so that actually is one of the most significant numbers that we start with when we talk about a Venn diagram. We need to find if there are too many, more numbers than we should have, then that accounts for the fact that some students have been counted twice and that we have sets that are going to overlap. Knowing that, I can now move to filling in some of the rest of my numbers. I'm going back to the fact that we had 23 students who played volleyball. Well, if you look at the volleyball circle, the set for volleyball, we have 15 of those students already accounted for out of the 23. That means that there are 8 other students that would make up the 23 volleyball players that we need to account. There are 26 that play basketball. And again, the set for basketball should include all 26 players. We have 15 of those already accounted for. That leaves 11 that we have not put in there in the right spot in our set, in our Venn diagram. Lastly, we have our 31 students who do not play either sport. Those 31 students would go outside of our set. So as a means of checking to see if our Venn diagram has been done correctly, I would literally go through and count up all the numbers, the 8, the 15, the 11, and the 31 that we placed in the Venn diagram. And the question is, do they add up to the 65 students that we're supposed to have? And yes, you will see that these numbers do add up to 65. So I'm confident that we have our Venn diagram indicated and sorted out correctly. Now remember that the Venn diagram is just a means of organizing our information. We haven't answered the question yet. The question was really wanting us to find the number of students who play volleyball only, basketball only, and both volleyball and basketball. So if I'm going to answer the question, I'm going to start with talking about the number that play volleyball only. So when I look back in my Venn diagram, the number that is only in volleyball, not part of any other sets, that accounts for the number of students that we had indicated was 8. 8 students play volleyball only. The number of students that play basketball only are going to be only in set B for basketball, just in the orange circle, not part of the blue. That's our 11 students. Now, the number that play volleyball and basketball have to be part of both of these sets. And that's where our overlap comes again. 15, these students here are the only ones that are part of both sets. Now, when it comes to the Venn diagram, there's a few other things that I just want to sort out in terms of how we can discuss or pull information out of it. When you take a look at all the students who have played either sport, volleyball or basketball, it doesn't matter if they were in one circle or the other. These are students that are playing some kind of a sport. These are the 8, the 15, and the 11 students that we have inside of our Venn diagram. And so that would give us a total of, what is that going to be, 34 students that play some sport or another. That will also help us get sorted out the number of students that do not play any of these sports, the 31 students that play neither basketball nor volleyball. And in terms of set notation, how we would write that is we would talk about those students who are inside of our sets, volleyball or basketball, and we would say we're not talking about them. The 31 are the ones that are not playing volleyball or basketball. So this particular section highlights a few very small words like or, and, only, and not. Those are small words, but they are very significant when it comes to set notation that we're going to have to pay very close attention to today. So that's what you're going to be working on for section 3.2. Have a good day.